drugs acting on renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or the drugs which are RAS inhibitors. In RAS inhibitor, first we will discuss what is the role of renin-angiotensin system in our body. So angiotensinogen, that is the inactive form, angiotensinogen. It is converting to angiotensin 1. It is converting to angiotensin 1, and the hormone required is renin hormone. The hormone required is renin. From where we are getting this renin? Renin is basically from the JG cells, juxtaglobulin cells in kidney. We are getting the renin from the juxtaglobulin cells in kidney, and that is by beta receptor. So beta 1 receptor is there. Beta 1 release the renin, and this renin is acting on angiotensinogen. It converts angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Then angiotensin 1 will be converted to angiotensin 2. And this enzyme is angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin 2 can also convert to angiotensin 3. That can also convert to angiotensin 4. But out of this, which is most important? The most important is angiotensin 2. Why angiotensin 2 is most important? Because it is most potent. Because it is most potent from this category. And what is the role of angiotensin 2? Angiotensin 2 is a potent vasoconstrictor. It will cause the vasoconstriction, as well as it is having the direct effect on the heart. It is causing damage to the heart cells. So apoptotic effect is seen. Apoptosis effect in the heart. That is angiotensin 2. So angiotensin 2 is dangerous for heart. Angiotensin 2 also increase the aldosterone secretion. And aldosterone itself having the apoptotic effect on the heart. Aldosterone can also cause water and salt retention. And you can see in one side we are having vasoconstriction, second we are having water retention, salt retention. So what happens? That leads to remodeling. In the heart cells. That leads to left ventricular hypertrophy. And left ventricular remodeling. And because of this compensatory pathway like apoptosis effect, because of the this vasoconstrictor, there will be LVH. You can see ultimately there will be increased mortality. So RAS pathway leads to left ventricular remodeling. So you can see in heart failure patient, this is risky, it increases the mortality. Now, the drugs acting on this pathway, we can inhibit simply beta receptor. So beta blockers are there. You can inhibit the renin action, so direct renin inhibitors are there. You can inhibit ACE, so angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors are there. And so beta blocker, direct renin inhibitor, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, and you can directly inhibiting the angiotensin 2 action, so that is angiotensin 2 antagonist, or these are angiotensin receptor blocker. So angiotensin 2 antagonist or angiotensin receptor blockers are there. So these 4 group of drugs are there which are acting on this pathway, One is beta blocker. First important is beta blocker. The second important is, in this category, the second important is direct renin inhibitor, then ACE inhibitor, and then ARBs or angiotensin II antagonist. So these are the drugs we will discuss. Angiotensin 3, angiotensin 4, these are not important. They are having very mild effect. So mainly angiotensin 2 is important, which is the most potent. Now comes to beta blockers. We have already discussed, which is direct renin inhibitor. So direct renin inhibitor. In direct renin inhibitor, we are having aliskiren. We are having aliskiren. Aliskiren is the only drug which is basically clinically useful in this category. We are having ramiskiren also, but that is not clinically successful. So only successful drug is aliskiren. So what is the mechanism? We already know that it is inhibiting the renin system. So by inhibiting the renin, it can inhibit the complete pathway. So ultimately it can decrease the aldosterone effect on the body. So apoptosis will be less, remodeling will be less, hypertrophy will be less. So it is the only drug, and it has been used for hypertension, heart failure. So it is in the heart failure patient, in hypertension patients. But it is just like ACE inhibitor. So we'll discuss in detail in the ACE inhibitors that what is the ACE inhibitors. So the second important is ACE inhibitor. ACE inhibitor, this is important. Angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, these are like captopril, lisinopril, ramipril, fosinopril, perindopril, enalapril. These are ACE inhibitors like captopril, lisinopril, ramipril, fosinopril, perindopril, enalapril like drugs. Out of these drugs, except captopril and lisinopril, rest of the all drugs are prodrugs. And you can say these are inactive form. Then what is the active form? The active form is important. The active form of this drug is nothing. It contains, instead of pril, you will see these are prilat. So instead of pril, these are prilat. So same drug like ramipril will be ramiprilat, fosinopril will be fosinoprilat, perindopril will be perindoprilat, and enalapril will be enalaprilat. So this enalaprilat is important. Enalaprilat, which is the active form. Enalaprilat, which is the active form, because it is already active form, it is faster. It is available in parenteral form. It is faster as well as it is parenteral. Enalaprilat, it is intravenous drug. It is available in some countries, not in India. It is available in some countries for emergency hypertension. In treatment of emergency hypertension, we can use enalaprilat, but it is not available in India. Only in European countries it is available. So this is one important thing which has been asked, that which ACE inhibitor can be used in emergency hypertension. So that is not enalapril, that is enalaprilat. Now comes to what is the important thing? Captopril and lisinopril, these are already active form. So definitely these will be comparatively faster. Acting drug, and these are prodrugs, so these are comparatively slower acting. So which is faster? Captopril. Which is slower? The prodrug. Now the important thing in captopril is that captopril is faster definitely, but it is shorter also. Out of all these drugs, the shortest acting ACE inhibitor is captopril, and it is having more risk of side effect. So we will discuss what are the side effects. So more side effect risk is there, and that's why nowadays captopril is not commonly used drug. So important thing is why captopril is not commonly used. Captopril is not commonly used because of the shortest and more side effect profile. Which is the longest acting drug? The longest acting drug is overall ramipril. The longest acting drug is overall ramipril. See, the longest half-life is seen with the perindopril. Perindopril is having longest half-life, but still we are saying that longest acting drug is ramipril. So ramipril basically stored in the tissues and released slowly. So in body the action of ramipril is for long duration. Perindopril is longest half-life, but still it is having little bit shorter than ramipril. So overall the longest acting drug is ramipril. So important is shortest is captopril. You can see longest is ramipril. Longest half-life is perindopril. Longest half-life is with perindopril. Then comes to what are the side effects seen with these drugs? What are the side effects associated with these drugs? The side effect with these drugs are, first important is the side effect with this drug. First important is these drugs can increase the bradykinin level. These drugs can increase the bradykinin level or can increase the substance P. So what is the important thing? Why this bradykinin substance P level is increased? Because we are inhibiting the ACE enzyme, and because of inhibition of ACE angiotensin converting enzyme, this is also the enzyme for bradykinin metabolism. This is also the enzyme for substance P metabolism. So by inhibiting the ACE, you can increase the bradykinin substance P. And these are the inflammatory products. These are the inflammatory products you can see. That's why there is cough. So there will be irritation in the throat. So cough is most common side effect overall. Cough is the most common side effect overall. This is very important. So most common side effects with these drugs is cough. The cough is dry. The cough is dry. It is characteristically brassy cough. So brassy cough, dry cough is there. So that is because of the throat irritation. Then these drugs can cause rash. These drugs can cause angioedema. These drugs can cause urticaria. But overall cough is very common. So angioedema is more with captopril. Maximum with captopril, and that's why I told you that captopril is not commonly used drug nowadays. So cough, rash, angioedema, urticaria. Angioedema risk was high with captopril, and that is risky. Cough is commonly seen with these drugs, most commonly seen with these drugs. And this cough can be suppressed by using NSAIDs, because NSAIDs are anti-inflammatory. So NSAIDs can suppress this cough. So cough will be less by using the NSAIDs. But this is not the treatment of this and this is not a solution for this cough. What is the best solution? The best solution for this cough is that change the drug. The best solution for this is change the drug to the same drug which is having similar action but no bradykinin side effect, and that is ARB. The best solution for this cough is shift the patient to angiotensin receptor blocker. So this is the first important side effect. The second important side effect is hypotension. Hypotension. So these drugs can cause hypotension, orthostatic hypotension, or first dose hypotension seen with these drugs. It is more in the standing position. That's what is called as orthostatic hypotension. Or more with the first dosage. So that's what is called as first dose hypotension. Because of the tolerance, the effect will be, hypotension will be less with the subsequent doses. So in hypotension, orthostatic or first dose hypotension, but remember this orthostatic or first dose hypotension, it is more with alpha blocker than with ACE inhibitor. So if both are there in the option, then the preferred answer will be alpha blocker. So that is about the hypotension. Then comes to the other important side effect. The other important side effect is dysgeusia. So these drugs can cause dysgeusia, or these drugs can change the taste sensation. So altered taste sensation seen with these drugs. That is because these drugs are having some chelating property with the metals and can change the taste sensation. Then the other important is, what about the potassium? Because these are decreasing the aldosterone, and that's why just like aldosterone antagonist, these drugs are causing hyperkalemia. So these drugs can be combined with diuretics like loop and thiazides. Yes, they can be combined because loop and thiazides are causing hypokalemia. These drugs are causing hyperkalemia. Then what about pregnancy? These drugs are not safe in pregnancy. Teratogenicity reported. So pregnancy, these are not safe drug. There is risk of renal agenesis. There is risk of pulmonary agenesis. So renal and pulmonary agenesis seen with these drugs. So teratogenicity. Then these drugs are also contraindicated in bilateral renal artery stenosis. In bilateral artery stenosis, these drugs are contraindicated. So what happens? There is already slow blood flow because of the stenosis, very low blood flow. If you are using these drugs are acting on the capillaries in the glomerulus, and the arterioles will be dilated. Because of that, the filtration pressure will be decreased. So decreased filtration pressure due to vasodilation in arterioles. So the arterioles will be dilated and decreased filtration pressure, and that can lead to acute renal failure. So acute renal failure risk is there. That's why these are contraindicated. Then you will see that these drugs regularly used can have the tolerance effect. So regular use of these drugs can cause the tolerance effect, and that is because of the NAS pathway activation. So what happens? Angiotensin 1 converting to angiotensin 2 by ACE. Angiotensin 1 is converting to angiotensin 2 by ACE, but if you will block the ACE, the other minor pathways will get activated, and combinedly these all pathways are called as non-angiotensin converting enzyme. So that NAS pathway can cause the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, and the effect of the drug will be decreased with the time. Then the next important thing is, what are the use of these drugs? The use of these drugs is, these drugs are very good drugs. The use of this drug is in hypertension. These are the first line antihypertensive drugs. These are very safe drugs, and these are overall drug of choice in hypertension. So in essential hypertension, these are first line drug, very good drug, except renovascular hypertension, as I told you, in the bilateral renal artery stenosis, these are very good drugs. Then these are very good drug in heart failure. These are very good drug in MI patients. When there is evolving MI, you can start these drugs. Very important. So in heart failure, in MI, these drugs are used in any grade. Any grade patient, start this drug. Very important. So first line drug for hypertension, then heart failure, MI, then in nephropathy. In nephropathy, these drugs can decrease the risk of nephropathy. So whether diabetic nephropathy, so these drugs can avoid the damage of kidney in diabetic patients due to microvascular complications of diabetes, diabetic nephropathy. Even in non-diabetic patient, we have seen that these are having the protective role. So diabetic or non-diabetic nephropathy, these drugs can also be used in scleroderma crisis. In scleroderma crisis, these drugs are having the important role, but that is not very common. So important is hypertension, important is heart failure, MI, and in diabetic nephropathy patient. Very important drug, very important. That's why in diabetic patient who are having hypertension, these are considered as the first line drug of choice. Very important. Then comes to, so in hypertension only avoid in pregnancy, otherwise these are bilateral stenosis, otherwise these are very good drugs. Then comes to ARBs, angiotensin receptor blockers. Angiotensin receptor blockers or angiotensin 2 antagonists. Angiotensin receptor blockers or angiotensin 2 antagonists. These drugs are like losartan, telmisartan. The suffix is sartan. Losartan, telmisartan, olmesartan, candesartan, irbesartan, and valsartan. These are some angiotensin receptor blockers: losartan, telmisartan, olmesartan, candesartan, irbesartan, and valsartan. Valsartan is recently approved with sacubitril. With sacubitril, we will discuss in heart failure. With sacubitril, it is approved for heart failure. So approved in heart failure treatment. So ACE angiotensin receptor blocker with sacubitril approved for heart failure is valsartan. Losartan is also having uricosuric effect. Losartan is also having uricosuric effect. So it can cause the uric acid excretion. It can decrease the uric acid level. It can decrease the uric acid level. That is the important point regarding losartan. So like diuretics are increasing the uric acid level, losartan is decreasing the uric acid level. So that is a good antihypertensive in gout patient. Then what about their action and their side effect? So there is no need to discuss it separately. You can simply say that these are similar to ACE inhibitor. These are similar to ACE inhibitor, except these two things are different in this, that these are not having bradykinin side effect. So no bradykinin related side effect seen with these drugs. So no bradykinin side effect. And the second important is no NES pathway. So no NES pathway. That's why, because of these two reasons, these are different. So similar to ACE inhibitor, otherwise or the only exception is no bradykinin. So that's why if a patient is having cough due to ACE inhibitor, always shift the patient to ARBs. That is important. So the same reason we can use these drugs, the same side effect will be there. So that is all about this RAS inhibitors. Thank you.